Hey guys, same face, new name. You might remember me from my old movies. I know a whole 10 of you watched them. But I was Miss Bigler before, but now you can call me Mrs. DeBry. But same teaching stuff is awesome. So today we're going to talk about fractions and what a fraction is. So let's talk about pies or pizzas or something. Or candy bars. We always have to share food evenly, right? So a fraction is a whole number that's divided into equal parts. So if you look at this picture here, this square is divided into equal parts. Everyone would get the same amount of brownies or chocolate. I'm probably making you hungry. But this one, would it be fair if I got this piece and my friend got this piece? Nope. Fractions have to be divided into equal parts. So you want to make everything even and fair. How to read a fraction is kind of important. You've got the numerator, which is the number on the top of a fraction. And that is how many pieces we're talking about. So if I drew a picture of a rectangle and I divided it into 6 equal parts and I shaded in 2 of those parts, the numerator would be 2 because that's how many pieces I'm talking about. If I said how many pieces are not shaded in, the numerator would be 4. So it all depends on the directions and what we're talking about, what they're asking for. So this part would be 2 out of 6 pieces. The denominator is the bottom number in a fraction, and it tells how many equal parts the whole has been cut into. So in this case, my denominator is 6 because I have 6 total pieces. And notice that depending on what I'm talking about, the numerator changes, because here we're talking about the shaded parts. Here we're talking about the unshaded parts. But the denominator stays the same because the number of pieces didn't change, just the number of pieces we're talking about changed. So, yes, and that's read 2/6 or 4/6. Sixths are hard to say. And we could cut a piece of cake into tons and tons and tons of pieces, just depending on how many people you have to share with, right? I wanted to point out really fast that this is cut into a lot of pieces, right? So my denominator is going to be really big. That's not cut into very many pieces, but notice that the pieces are really big. I would like to share this candy bar. I don't necessarily want to share that candy bar because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times 2. So here the denominator is 24. Here the denominator is 2. So when you have the smaller the number in your denominator, the bigger the pieces. The bigger the number in the denominator, the smaller the pieces. So that's kind of opposite of what we're used to hearing and what we're used to thinking about.
So Mrs. DeBright, draw me a fraction. I'm going to tell you what it is.
Okay.
Ask me a question about it.
Okay. So if I drew, I'm going to switch it to a pie or a pizza now.
Oh, so it doesn't matter your shape as long as you have equal size pieces or equal parts?
Mm-hmm. Okay, now Mrs. Guerrero, what fraction of this shape is colored in?
Oh, so I'm looking at the colored part. I know that there's one piece colored in, which is the numerator. So the numerator, the top number, is going to be a 1.
Okay.
My denominator, which is my bottom part, is 4 because there's 4 equal size pieces.
Nice.
So my fraction is 1/4.
Yes. Perfect. And that's actually called a unit fraction because it has a 1 on the top. And if you look over here, here's an example of halves. See, it doesn't matter what shape you have as long as it's cut into 2 equal pieces. And here we have thirds. And you can even do 1/3 of 3 flowers is 1 flower. And here we have fourths where it's cut into even more different size shapes. So just depending on how many equal size pieces your whole is cut into is the denominator. So that's basic fractions, everyone. We'll do another video that kind of talks about how to compare fractions and equivalent fractions, but that's the gist of fractions. Tune in next time.